Okay.
In the meantime, I shall share presentation.
Madam,
Yes.
gave 3 questions, I'm
Yes.
telling the students, students, you just, I have told several times, just to speak about these 3 questions that Madam gave you last meeting, So, on the basis of 3 questions, just to answer what you understand. Okay.
The host has to allow to unmute, I think.
Saksar, please allow them.
আপনি আনমিউট তো হয়ে আছেন
না আমি না ওই
স্টুডেন্ট যারা ওই কথা বলতে চাইছে স্টুডেন্টসদের।
আচ্ছা 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 ওটা করে দিচ্ছি ম্যাম আপনি কি আবার করে জয়েন করলেন?
হ্যাঁ ওটা অফ হয়ে গিয়েছিল।
ও আচ্ছা আচ্ছা আপনার নামটা চেঞ্জ করে দিন। হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ করছি। না স্টুডেন্টরা তো আনমিউট করতে পারবে আই গেস এখন।
একজন লিখেছে পারছে না আর কি।
একবার দেখো।
হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে, you can try out once and let me try and share this thing.
Actually, so many students today for test, there is a excess of 100. They are in I think YouTube channel.
So can the screen be seen?
Yeah.
Okay. So today we have the second portion of understanding harmony in nature, which will deal with existence, coexistence, mutual interaction, and harmony at all levels. Okay. So the first thing that somebody is waiting to be admitted. Right. So what were the questions that we had asked last day? Can any of you enlighten on the question? I think there's some have put in the chat. Do we have a test today? And yes. Okay. Question 1, question 2. Someone has given me question 2. How do we utilize the forces, elements of nature to our benefit? So this was one question. So anyone else can write down the other questions? Okay, so I think this cannot be written.
Ma'am, another question has already been given here. How can we contribute to the preservation of the nature?
Okay. So many things are done. Right. So 2 questions there, and any more? Anyone else with any other questions? There were 3 questions, right? So please keep these 3 questions in mind, because when you have a test on this module, you will have these 3 questions to answer as well. How do we utilize the forces of or the elements of nature to our benefit? And that is only one question that has come. 2 questions chilo bolche. Ekta hocche eta. Ar ekta ki question chilo?
How can we contribute to the preservation of the nature?
Right. This was another one. Right. Any else? Anyway,
This
so
2 questions they have given.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So in the meantime, just let us go through what the topic of today is. So basically, we will now try and understand what is harmony. Now, can any one of you tell me what is harmony? What is the meaning of the
Hmm.
word harmony? Have you heard of the word harmony anywhere?
Harmony.
Yes?
Several times. Okay.
Yes, several. That's right. So, one place where we have heard of harmony is in music. This is something that we hear very often. For example, there are 8 elements in music, basically, if you break it down. But to a layman, there is the tone, the quality. What do you mean by the quality? That it's the timbre, the texture, the rhythm, the melody, the harmony. Harmony is actually the altogether we can put all these elements into one shell, that is harmony. So when all these are in obedience with each other, that is, they go with each other and not one of them outshine the other, but they are all on the same platform, only then this harmony is maintained. So if you look at a family, say in a family, you have your family members, where you have your parents, you have your brothers and sisters, and you have other dependents, grandparents, etc., extended family. There, if each and everyone have some kind of a contribution to the family, then the family runs in harmony. So all the members are at harmony with each other, and functioning of the family is in harmony, right? So this is basically the meaning of the word harmony. Now, say if I give you the picture of a tree, right? I cannot see the whole of this. This screen somewhere. Right. So if you see, if I give you a picture of a tree, what do you think? How would you look at it? Would you look at it as an object of natural beauty? Or would you look at it from the point of view that it is something that minimizes soil erosion because the roots hold the soil together? Or it is something that purifies air? Or you can look at it from another point of view, that is, it is one that nests birds and butterflies. So from different aspects, you can view this tree, right? So, but whatever is my intention, I will be looking at the tree from that very perspective. Similarly, if I have all these aspects combined, that means all my interests are fulfilled, then all my interests are in harmony, right? Now coming straight to, since I will be skipping a number of slides. Now coming to the word harmony, we can also use another word that is called symbiosis. Okay, this means how we depend or we interact with the other elements that are present in our society or in nature. Okay, so basically the word symbiosis means it is any type of close or long-term biological relationship between different kinds of biological organisms, or here in the extended form we can take between, remember last day we talked about the different orders, where you have the plant order, then you have the animal order, and on top you have the human order. So all these are in some kind of a symbiotic relationship with each other. Now, what do we mean by symbiosis? So it comprises of 3 to 4 different kinds of, you can say they are compartments. One is mutualism, the other is commensalism, and another one is parasitism. So what do we understand by mutualism? That means when there are 2 objects interacting and both are benefiting from each other. Okay, so this is what we call mutualism. So let's look at one example of mutualism. So if we go to the next slide, that is, say you have these bees which feed on the nectar of the flower. Okay, the flower gets pollinated and the bee gets the nectar. So one is benefiting from the other. So this is one kind of mutualism. Then we have other kinds of mutualism, say over here, where there is a market and you have the person who is purchasing and the person who is selling. So both are benefiting from this action. This is also another act of mutualism. Then if we talk of the other aspect, that is commensalism. What is commensalism? That is, by definition, we have, say, have you been to the seashores where you've seen hermit crabs? What they are, you know? They are these small crab, very small crabs. Now, in order to protect themselves, they take shelter in the gastropod shells, or the shells that are abandoned because the organism is dead. So those abandoned shells are occupied by these crabs, and this is why they have been given the name hermit crabs. So here, what happens is, this is another example where you have your digestive system, which depends upon a lot of microbiota. So this helps in the food digestion, well as they survive on any of those secretions or the food that the intestines have. So this is this one-to-one. Let me go back to this slide where we have a one-to-one dependence on each other, okay, where one is benefited more than the other. Here is another example of commensalism. That is, say, here you see the tiger. The prey of the tiger is what? It could be a deer or any other smaller animals. Now, there are other species of animals, say, for example, the jackal, etc. They feed on the carcasses of the dead. So what they do is they follow the tiger. And whenever the tiger hunts and leaves the carcasses, the jackal, they feed on that. Then you have these egrets. They feed on the mites that are in the body of the cattle. Okay, so you have certain examples this way. You can think of some on your own as well. So that was commensalism. And here we have some other examples as well. So you can go through that, where you have the whale, or you have some planks of the planks that make up the body of the ship. There you very often get barnacles growing. So what are these barnacles? They are some colonies of living organisms which thrive on other organisms, but they get benefited without harming that organism. Right? So this is what is commensalism. Another aspect is parasitism. What is parasitism? We all know. The most common parasite that we know of is the mosquito. And parasites do what? They extract or they feed on the they feed on some object which they basically harm. So they do not get benefited. In fact, they harm the object that they thrive on. For example, you have one kind of a weed growing on trees. So this weed sucks up all the juice of the leaves and the bark of the larger trees, and they thrive by killing the main tree. Then you have certain weeds that grow. These weeds also, ultimately, they thrive by killing the main plant. In case of mosquitoes, they infect some diseases into the body by carrying some parasites and bacteria to the host. Right. So basically, these are the three ways in which symbiotic relationships occur. And this is how one is in, this is how these objects interact in nature. So sometimes there is harmony, and at other times there is no harmony. Okay. So when I tell you about these three aspects, that is parasitism, commensalism, and mutualism. So can you tell me, out of these three, which one or which two, or if any, of these aspects enhance or contribute towards harmony between living organisms? Any answer? Harmony is, okay. Yes? Out of these three aspects in symbiosis, so think about it.
Ma'am, can you repeat the question once?
Yes. So we were talking about the ways in which organisms interact with each other in nature, right? So that term we called it symbiosis. In symbiosis, we have three aspects. One is parasitism, the other is commensalism, and another one is mutualism. Okay. So out of these three aspects, which aspect, in which or if any, in which two, is there harmony in existence? Or is there any harmony or no harmony in any of these three aspects?
Probably parasitism, ma'am.
There is no harmony in parasitism.
Okay.
Right? Yes, because one is being harmed.
Parasites.
Yeah, parasites thrive, but the host is harmed.
Commensalism.
Yes, commensalism is actually the one in which there is harmony, okay, because neither it's not hurting, but it is achieving something. So if you just look at this, here you have a one-to-one relationship, that is mutualism. Basically, mutualism is the one that brings together objects that are in harmony, or when any two objects are in harmony, they share a mutual relationship with each other, a give and take. Okay, so both are benefited. In commensalism, one is benefited and the other is unharmed. Nothing happens to that host. For example, here the barnacles, they grow on either the back of a whale or any large other animals, or in the body of the ship, which does not get harmed, but the barnacles get benefited. So here it is a one-way benefit. But in parasitism, again, it is a one-way benefit, but the host in the process gets killed or is in danger. Okay? So in symbiosis, in these three types of relationships, mutualism is the one which brings about harmony between the two interacting organisms. Right. So here I can show you another photograph where you can see different kinds of plants and flowers growing together. So
Please
one,
mute yourself. Someone is talking. Okay. Yes.
right. Some of these may be weeds. Okay. Some may be depending on each other for their growth. Some plants may produce a lot of nitrogen to the soil and add a lot of nitrogen to the soil, with which the other plants can grow. So basically, when we look at such a setup, it appears that everything is in harmony. But we could have cases where the picture could be something like this, where to a layman, this may just look like another beautiful tree. But here actually what is happening is this weed has encroached upon the tree and is parasitic. So it is basically destroying it. Right? So this is how we can think of harmony. If we extend and look around ourselves, we can see what kind of harmony exists in nature, whether it belongs to parasitism or commensalism or mutualism, etc. Yeah. So if you have one particular species, maybe they look more in harmony, but if you see species, many different kinds of flowers, they are also in harmony. So different elements in nature can be in harmony with each other if and only if they share some common goals, they benefit from each other and not harm each other, right? So basically this is the essence of today's topic, and the questions that I gave you last day, those 3 questions and the one I added today. So we can think about that. You can think of some other examples of parasitism, mutualism, and commensalism. Can you tell me, can you give me one very common example that you practiced during the exams that fall under these 3 categories? You should come up with, of course, we all do that. Why should I point fingers at you only? When we were students, many of us did that too. So when you put your brains together, study for the exam together, make your notes and reproduce during the exam, so that is mutualism. When one of you, during the exam, look into your neighbor's answer script and write down things, then you benefit, but the person from who you are writing does not benefit or does not get harmed also. So that is commensalism. And if somebody does some mischief, right, and the person from who you are copying is hurt, that is, the answer script is confiscated, and this is parasites. Yes or no? You don't agree with me?
Yes,
Right. You can think of examples of parasitism, commensalism, and mutualism, different examples, and show whether they are, or you can think of everyday examples and see in which group they fall, whether it is mutualism, commensalism, or parasitism, and
Ma'am.
conclude from that which is shows most harmony amongst the interacting elements. Yes, somebody was asking you something.
No, ma'am, I was telling that in our day-to-day life, parasitism is everywhere. In human life, আমরা কোথাও না কোথাও গিয়ে কারোর উপর কাউকে ক্ষতি করে নিজেদের লাভটা করি। As if
সবসময় কি তাই?
হ্যাঁ,
সবসময় কি তাই?
মোস্ট অফ দ্য টাইম, যেমন আমাদের ডেইলি লাইফের ক্ষেত্রে, যেমন যারা মাছ ধরেন,
যারা
মাছ ধরেন, যারা মাছ চাষ করেন, তারা মাছটা ধরেই তো তাদের পেট চালান, আমাদের কাছে বিক্রি করে, এবং আমরা আবার সেখান থেকে কিনে আবার আমাদের পেট চালাচ্ছি।
ঠিক।
কোথাও না কোথাও গিয়ে আমরা প্লান্ট বেসড, এখনো যেটা প্রচন্ড একটা পজিটিভ জিনিস আমাদের দেশে চলছে, দ্যাট ইজ প্লান্ট বেসড জিনিসের প্রতি আমাদের মুভ অন করতে বলা হচ্ছে সব জায়গায়। যেমন আমরা প্রিজারভেটিভ ফুডস বলুন বা যে কোনো ধরনের ওগুলোকে স্টোর করা মিট বা ফিশ যেগুলো আমরা খাই, সেগুলোর বদলে যদি আমরা প্লান্ট বেসড পুরোপুরি কনভার্ট হয়ে যেতে পারি, সেটা হচ্ছে
আমি একটু ইন্টারাপ্ট করছি। এবার দেখো, say for example, কোনো goat meat কি cow meat, whatever, any bigger animal meat, সেটা কনজিউম করে হিউম্যান বিংস। হিউম্যান বিংস কে তুমি যদি একটা একদম ওপরের রাং এ রাখো, তাহলে তার লোয়ার অর্ডার্স এর উপরে সে ডিপেন্ড করে। সে তার লোয়ার অর্ডার অ্যানিমালস কে কনজিউম করে, খায়, কি তার থেকে যা প্রোডাক্টস পায় সেটা ইউজ করে। এবার সেই লোয়ার অর্ডার অ্যানিমালস কিন্তু কিসের উপরে ডিপেন্ড করে? অন প্লান্ট লাইফ। এই প্লান্টটাকে আবার এনহ্যান্স করে কি, গ্রো করায় কি, আইদার বাই অন ইটস ওন অর বাই হিউম্যান বিংস। So human beings also depend on plants. So it is a cycle. You cannot take something away or shut something off just because you think that animal consumption is, from any point of view of, I don't know, religion or any other thing, it is harmful. It is not. You have to see and observe the steps of the pyramid. That you are occupying the highermost pyramid, a highermost place in the pyramid, but you are dependent on the lower animals. The lower animals are again dependent upon. Yes, right. So here we are not harming anybody for our gain. It is not seen in that way, right? So maybe you can revise your thoughts a little bit and you see if you can come to some kind of an better understanding of this. Anyone else has any other queries or questions? Any comments?
ভালো ইন্টারেক্ট করেছে ওর মতো করে।
Parasites are of no use and they are only harmful. So you agree with that? Yes, they are harmful. Yes. So there is no harmony between the parasite and the host. So here there is no harmony, but this exists in nature. This, along with the other two aspects, all together forms the interactive system, right? So, sir, if there is no other question,
Okay,
yes.
okay. Or any other question, or somebody has written, ma'am, if we remove parasites, everything remain unchanged.
How can you
What-
remove parasite?
Right.
Well, probably he's trying to ask is like, is there any need for parasites in our society? Like, if for some reason, if you imagine that there are no parasites living anymore, will that
Yes.
affect the society in any way, or would we, live on the same way that we are doing right now?
Yes, that is really a question to ponder. So that depends upon what you are labeling as parasite. So parasite, well, I have to also think that there could be some organisms which are parasitic to some organisms, but are beneficial to others. Can you think of anything of that sort? If you think of the societal system, right? So there, let's not go into much detail. Say there is a class of people who make other weaker people work, okay, like laborers or bonded laborers. So what would have happened if if it did not exist? Then these laborers or these people, the section of people would not have been pressurized. So there would have been some kind of freedom. Yes. But again, because of the work they put in, there are some constructive portions of society that are benefited, or there is some kind of construction in society. But it is not that if they did not work on their own, they would not have produced such constructive measures, right? So in some cases, yes, so this is why I think, Shadis sir, you will be able to enlighten better that the society also goes through a continuous cycle of where we
Right.
have the kings and then we have the laborers, and every time there is a superfluous of one section which will try to dominate the other, and then there will be a system through which there is some kind of a balance being trying to be maintained, and again the whole cycle goes round, right? So we really have to think on this question whether if we remove parasitism, will the whole setup thrive, or is there going to be any collapse?
Right. Actually, can we extinct the parasites, whether it is possible? one thing I'm telling you is cyclic order. There is nature is moving on the cyclic order, that I'm telling, and the past and present, I think as time is going on, the form is changing, but the cyclic process is going on. Okay, so for how the process will be changed to what will be the new system of dependence. That is another thing in our society, in our social system, at the same time our human environment, and also in the nature. I'm telling everything is going on in a cyclic order. Okay, but one thing, there is a question I'm telling you, some species are being extinct. They are going mute. Okay, so but one thing I'm telling, so many some species, some plants and some animal are not seen, and they are already finished, So there is the thing, another thinking to us. But one thing I'm telling you, one species is being removed, but it doesn't mean that this system is being collapsed. Okay, another formation is being done. So this is a continuous process. Say one species or one part is being transferred to another way, not that it is total system is being finished. That is the thing, someone has written, if the host is finished, then what will be? Okay, so that is the system. You see the black buck, okay, one kind of animal, it is going to be finished, some, I think in world, a number, if you count, a maximum 500 are still living. So there are also dinosaurs, so it has been removed, So that is a cyclic order. Similarly, in a social system, so one is somewhat powerful and other is depending on that. So this dependence, interdependence, it is going on. Form or the structure or the format had been changed, but the process is going. Okay, so
yes, I can just add two examples, two different aspects. One is, say for example, you must have heard about the animal mammoth. Yes, it was humongous in size. It was very difficult for that animal to thrive because of its huge size. So with time, it did become extinct. So this is one aspect. Then you have some disease encroaching into the society. I don't want to take the example of COVID because it has been it has been too much of a distress for us. So you take, for example, any other natural hazard, flood, earthquake, or any disease. What does it do? It does reduce the population. So whenever there is too much, that has to be brought down to a scale so that there is a mutual survival. So one can benefit from nature and nature can benefit from you. So whenever this balance is lost, nature has its own way of bringing it back to balance. So these are some of the ways in which nature does it. Any natural disaster or disease. So you cannot really remove anything from the system to save it. Then the whole cycle breaks, right? But of course, this does not answer your question about parasitism. So I think I will get a better example next time. I will keep this in mind and do my homework.
Okay. There is a theory, Malthus theory, automatically balance in the nature. Okay. There is a question, we are thinking too much, what will be the population is going on, and so many problems. And so we are thinking too much. Okay, so many things, But there is a theory, Malthus theory, we call the automatically balancing factor exists in our nature. Automatically balance, That the madam has told, is telling that they're going to be COVID. We cannot expect. We didn't expect that type of disaster will come, but it is a nature balancing factor, So that I that I
Yes,
feel
but I
in
can
this
give you a very, very neutral example also.
right,
That is, you have mountains rising, right? So
right,
we have all heard about the Himalayas. In
right,
the Himalayas, there was the Tethys Sea. So
right.
once which was at sea level, now we have great heights. We have the Himalayas. So
Right.
when there is a rise in this landmass, there must be some kind of a subsidence to balance it. So we
Right.
do find that now, if we measure every day, if every year the Himalaya rises by a centimeter, and there
Right.
is also subsidence of land in that equal amount. So this aspect in geology is called isostasy, where there is a balance between the rising and the depression. So this is also a very neutral example of balance.
Right. So I think very good discussion, and Madam has given so many examples. I think it has been clear to all the students. I think if you have any query, if you want to interact, somebody has interacted and given some very good question. Also, they had some query. So it is very good process, good feelings to us. So that is why I'm telling once again, if you have any query, if you want to add something or want to know something, you can ask. Okay. Otherwise, this model, this unit will be as per the allotted to Madam. She has completed this portion, so we'll go over to next part. So I think, is there any question? Someone has written, okay, sir, attendance link. Okay, Sakshar, attendance. Before that attendance, there will be a test, you know. So Dipurbar madam is here.
Exam will be the attendance.
Okay, okay.
The exam will be the attendance. So I can stop sharing the screen.
Okay.
Sir,
Hmm.
should I share the link here?
Okay. You give it this, share the link.
Okay, and in the WhatsApp group, should I share it?
You can right. You can give it, and at this time, give it time. At least I think previously it was done for 2 or 3 hours. You know, so
Okay,
they'll be
okay.
answering and they'll be sent back.
Okay.
The Majid
Okay.
sir given time. Okay.
Okay, I haven't put it any given any time limitation,
Okay.
so they can answer.
Okay.
Okay, so let me put the link here then.
Someone has written as a backlog. No, but those you have not attended previous test now appear now. Okay. Otherwise, it will be a backlog to you.
Okay, sir, with your permission, I'm leaving.
You can leave, madam. Okay. You are too much tired because you have attended the academic council meeting at the center. After that, you had to travel a long distance. Okay. See the link? Okay.
Just anybody can respond whether you can open the form or not and see the questions.
Very good. Right.
We can't.
We can't, ma'am.
Acha, let me.
Sakso sir, will you give the attendance link?
Yes, sir, I'm giving it to here.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Now please check from the second link.
Right.
Please check the second link. I hope you can open.
Right. Check.
Yes, ma'am. It's working. It's
Okay.
working.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All the students, you check the link. If you have any problem, then you ask.
It's
Okay.
a 10-mark questions. Okay. And at the end, please put your name, batch, your stream and year.
Madam, how long it will stay? When it will be stopped?
Actually, sir, I have shared the link.
Uh,
It will hardly take 15 or 20 minutes because it's MCQ, 10 marks.
okay. Okay.
So what I can do, sir, I can share the link in the WhatsApp group also.
Okay.
UHB WhatsApp group.
Okay.
So that they can get the time and already the answers will be mailed to me.
Okay.
Just let me check also whether I'm receiving.
Sir, should we leave Zoom now?
Someone has written where the exam link will be available. I think that's been given.
Sir, shall we leave now the Zoom app, or do we have to wait?
If you have finished answering, then you can leave.
Right.
I have posted the link also in your WhatsApp group.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, what is to be written in the batch with semester and stream?
Yeah, so that I can recognize you. Your name.
Means batch means first semester.
Yeah.
And stream means juridical science.
Yes, yes.
Yes. I think everyone is in first semester.
First
Sir,
semester.
these are 0 credit papers, sir. The score is coming 0/0, sir, in this paper, sir. All are 0 credit questions, sir.
It's okay. I can see your answer.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
স্যার
হুম।
অ্যাটেন্ডেন্সটা আমি কোথায় দেব বুঝতে পারছি না, মানে লিঙ্কটা এলো আর চলে গেল, একটু যদি বলতেন।
অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স ওই তো সাকসেস স্যার হ্যাজ
Question.
গিভেন।
কোয়েশ্চেন পেপারের নিচে নামটা মানে সাবমিট করলে অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স হয়ে যাবে নাকি?
না অ্যাটেন্ডেন্সটা আলাদা একটা লিংক।
অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স লিংক দেওয়া হয়েছিল কোয়েশ্চেন
হ্যাঁ।
লিংকের একটু আগেই, তো অলরেডি 183টা রেসপন্স হয়ে গিয়েছে, সো আই ক্লোজ দ্য লিংক।
অ্যাকচুয়ালি আমি তো দিইনি, তাই জন্য আমি জিজ্ঞেস করছি আর কি, মিস করে গেছি হয়তো ওই সময়।
I'm opening it for once again.
Okay.
Then
ওকে
do it fast right now.
ওকে।
স্যার যাদের টেস্ট হয়ে গেছে ওরা লিভ করতে পারে তো?
হ্যাঁ হয়ে গেল। তুমি যদি কোনো কোয়ারি না থাকে, ইফ ইউ finish your exam and if you have given your attendance, then you can leave.
Ma'am, my score is also showing 0/0.
So it's fine. The number has not been given, so ma'am will calculate the marks. So don't worry. Okay.
Okay, sir.
স্যার আমাদের যেটা ফাইনাল মার্কশিটস হবে ওখানে কি এই ইউএইচবি নম্বর দেখানো হবে?
দেখানো হবে না, এটা পাস না করলে তোমার ওই রেজাল্ট তোমার উইথেল থাকবে। রেজাল্ট তোমার ইট উইল নট বি কমপ্লিট, ইওর ডিগ্রি উইল নট বি কমপ্লিটেড। ওকে, তোমাকে এটা কমপ্লিট করতেই হবে, পাস করতেই হবে 50% মার্কস। আউট অফ 50 ইউল হ্যাভ টু গেট 25. It is mandatory and compulsory.